Assembly Bill 403 by Assembly Member Mark Stone, enacting to public social services.
Senator McGuire on file item 125, colleagues.
Good evening, Madam President, and I greatly appreciate the ability to bring this forward on behalf of Assemblymember Stone. This bill represents the most significant reform on foster care in decades in the state of California. AB 403 is a momentous and comprehensive reform effort that sets out to ensure youth can grow up in permanent supportive homes to become self-sufficient and successful adults. This bill received no votes on the Assembly floor and builds upon years of policy changes designed to improve outcomes for youth in foster care. AB 403 will implement recommendations from the Department of Social Services' 215 report, California's Child Welfare Continuum of Care Reform. And the bill sets out to better meet the needs of foster youth and to promote positive outcomes as youth transition out of the system. Specifically, AB 403 would update the assessment process so that the first placement is the right one, transition children away from congregate care into home-based family care. The budget appropriated $9.6 million for this purpose. This will provide families with targeted training and support so that they are better prepared to care for youth. And it will include requirements for the development of performance standards. When children enter foster care, they need a safe, comfortable, and supportive place to home, whether that is with a relative, a foster family, or in a treatment center. The reforms in AB 403 provide youth with the support they need in foster care to return to the families or to find a permanent home if returning to their families is not an option. On behalf of Assemblymember Stone and the department, would respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator McGuire. Debate or discussion? Senator Runner.
Thank you, Madam President, members. I rise to support this bill. I have a foster grandchild who was adopted by my son and his wife when he was 11. He's 22 now and doing well, but I see so many, and my kids have gotten really involved in the foster care agencies and helping the social workers to find permanent homes for these foster children. And a lot of them, especially during those years when they foster out of care with those families and are left with nobody who really cares for them. In our case, our Raider, you know, everybody cares and loves him like he's our own. But there's so many families out there that just kick him out the door when they lose their benefits. So to have some transitional housing and ability to get counseling and, you know, extra you know, things for them to get in community colleges, preferences maybe on classes, all of those will make a tremendous difference to foster youth. So I proudly support this bill. Thank you. Ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Runner. Any further debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Senator McGuire, would you like to close?
Thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you to the senator for her personal story and for her wonderful support, and would respectfully ask for an aye vote from this body.
Thank you. All debate having ceased, we are going to call the roll twice on this and then close the roll. We do, I believe, have a unanimous roll call opportunity. Is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 39, no 0. The measure passes. We're going to go back to file item 131, and we're going to conclude that item. Senator Leno, and file item 131, if you would, if you have an answer to that question, and you might do this. I don't see any other mics up, so you may close.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, to better respond to Senator Anderson's question with regard to the California District Attorneys Association and Assemblywoman Weber's bill, a number of technical and substantive amendments were taken on behalf of the CDAA, in particular inserting the words "and bad faith" to raise the bar, so it had to be intentional and in bad faith, and that was inserted. There was debate within the association, but as you know, it takes a majority of the 58 district attorneys to reach a decision, and the decision was to remain opposed, but that's not to say it wasn't debated. Of course, to reiterate, the largest district attorney office in the state, Los Angeles, did come in support of the bill, not just remove their opposition, but the association does remain in opposition. I would ask for your aye vote.
All debate having ceased, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. No. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgioni. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Weso. Aye. Huff. Jackson.
Aye.
Aye. Lutta. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Morrell. No. Wynn. Nilsson. No. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Aye.
Please call the absent members.
De Leon. Fuller. Galgioni. Huff. McGuire. Morlock. Aye. Wynn. No.
Senator Leno places a call. We're going to go back to file item, is it 130, Senator Weso? Did you wish to take up that item? File item 130. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 895 by Assemblymember Rendon and Ackling to Public Utilities.
Senator Weso.
Thank you, Madam President. Senators, AB 895 ensures greater transparency within the California Public Utilities Commission, and it increases legislative oversight over ratepayer funds resulting from the 2000 and 2002 energy crisis. In an earlier bill, we were dealing with representation of the District Attorney's Office, and in this bill, we determined where the funds would go. Again, there have been some bad decisions that don't get to addressing or redressing the losses of our ratepayers under that crisis, and this would allow the legislature now to allocate those funds that result from those settlements. I respectfully ask your aye vote for this important measure.
Thank you, Senator Weso. Is there any debate or discussion on this item? Any debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll. We're going to call it once and then put the matter on call. One call. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgioni. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Weso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson.
Aye.
Aye. Lutta. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nilsson. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Ayes 34, noes 0. I'm sorry. The matter is placed on call. Senator Weso moves a call. File item 132. We're going to go now 132 through 137 in chronological order. File item 132, Senator Leno. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 666 by Assemblymember Mark Stone and Ackling to Juveniles.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, you may remember that a year ago, with your support, we passed a bill that I authored that requires the juvenile court to seal the records and dismiss a petition where the minor has satisfactorily completed probation for specifically nonviolent and non-serious crimes. This was intended to be automatic for qualifying cases, but there has been some confusion about how this will work. That is the purpose of this bill. It requires the Judicial Council to adopt some rules and forms to assure consistent and standardized implementation of sealing laws, which is one of the reasons why the juvenile court judges of California strongly support this bill. The bill was recently amended to provide that for repeat juvenile offenders, so if a young person has his or her record sealed and then reoffends, prosecutors will be able to access their otherwise sealed records to determine the appropriate disposition for that minor. The bill has also similar provisions asked for by probation. So we want to make sure that young people who have made mistakes but corrected their ways have an opportunity to have a second chance so they can pursue their hopes and dreams and aspirations, so they can succeed, so that they will become good tax-paying citizens. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Leno. Debate or discussion? Senator Stone.
Thank you, Madam President. I would just like to say really quickly that I think you've been doing a great job today in getting us through a very tenuous schedule and on your feet all day long. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Madam President and members of the Senate, I must rise in opposition to AB 666. It's important that a minor be able to do productive things for the community and have a second chance, but we must also think about the public safety of everyone. Currently, courts are already able to seal juvenile records when deemed appropriate. This bill is unnecessary as current laws already provide the opportunities for minors to turn their lives around. Enacting this bill will instead allow criminals with a pattern of illegal behavior to continue posing a threat to law-abiding citizens. I respectfully ask for a no vote.
Thank you, Senator Stone. Any further debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, we're going to place the matter on call after one vote through Senate. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. No. Block. Aye. Canella. No. De Leon. Fuller. No. Gaines. No. Galgiani. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Weso. Huff. No. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. No. Morrell. No. Wynn. No. Nielsen. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Senator Leno places a call. File item 133, Senator No. All right, we're going to go back to 128, Senator Hill. File item 128. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 502 by Assemblymember Chow, enacting to dental hygiene.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, registered dental hygienists in alternative practice are registered dental hygienists with specialized training that allow them to practice outside of the traditional dental office, such as in schools, residential care facilities, hospitals, and private homes. AB 502 clarifies that APs are authorized to establish corporations under the Corporations Code. Additionally, it provides the Dental Hygiene Committee of California with greater regulatory and oversight authority to ensure customer protection for patients of AP corporations. There's been no opposition. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, members.
Thank you, Senator Hill. It's getting noisy again in here, folks. Please quiet it down. Thank you. Is there any objection to substitute, excuse me, any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none. Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. I. Jackson.
Aye.
I. Lara. I. Leno. I. Leyva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Senator Hill moves a call. File item 133, Senator Hall. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 959 by Assemblymember Chu, an act relating to data collection.
Yes, sir.
Senator Hall.
Thank you, Madam President and Senators. AB 959 addresses health and social service disparities impacting LGBT communities through the collection of data. This bill will require 4 health and human services agencies to collect sexual orientation and gender identity data on a voluntary basis, just as those agencies collects demographic information on race, ethnicity, gender, and disability. This data can save lives, allow us to invest scarce budgetary resources smartly, and help us end critical disparities. AB 959 has enjoyed bipartisan support. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Any debate or discussion on this item? Is there any debate or discussion? This is file item 133. Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. No. Bates. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. No. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. I. Jackson.
Aye.
I. Lara. I. Leno. I. Leyva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. Mendoza. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. Morrell. No. Wynn. I. Nilsson. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. No. Stone. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Nilsson. I to no.
All right. Senator Hall moves a call. All right, colleagues, I know there are a number of bills that we haven't taken up. What I would like to do is, if you would like to take up an item that we skipped earlier, I'd like to go through the file as we are doing. We will put those items at the bottom so that we don't have to keep going back and forth. So we are now at file item 134. That is Senator Lara. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1461 by Assemblymember Gonzalez, an act relating to elections.
Senator Lara.
Thank you, Madam President and members. AB 1461, the California New Motor Voter Act by Assemblyman Lorena Gonzalez, aims to increase voter registration at the DMV. The bill, which is also sponsored by Secretary of State Alex Padilla, has 2 pieces, an opt-out voter registration and an education and outreach. Under the first part, the DMV asked individuals renewing or applying for a driver's license or identification card to attest to their eligibility to vote. Those that affirmatively attest their eligibility shall be registered by the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State has the sole responsibility for determining eligibility for voter registration and voting. To be clear, this portion of AB 1461 is delayed until three things happen: until VoterCal, the new statewide voter registration database, is up and running; two, the legislature appropriates necessary funding for the program; and that Secretary of State has adopted the necessary regulations specified in this bill. The second piece of AB 1461 requires the DNV to provide records to those that apply for or renew a driver's license or identification card to the Secretary of State for the purposes of informing potentially eligible voters about the California New Motor Voter Program. AB 1461, it's also important to note that this bill protects against the transfer of non-citizen information from the DNV to the Secretary of State, and also provides an opt-out mechanism at the time of attestation, which with AB 1461, it is our hope that California will assist the nearly 6.5 million citizens yet to become registered voters, thereby increasing opportunities for eligible citizens to participate in our democracy. Voter registration still stands a significant impediment to civic participation in our state, and this bill can help alleviate these existing barriers. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Lara. Senator Hall, followed by Senator Hueso.
Thank you, Madam President and Senators. As the Vice Chair of the Legislative Black Caucus, I stand in support of AB 1461. We know that registration remains one of the biggest barriers to voting. We also know that low-income Californians make up the bulk of unregistered voters. The current system of voter registration presents a selection bias that often results in the exclusion of Californians that are younger and from communities of color like the one I represent. Switching from opt-in registration to opt-out registration is a chance to remove that bias from the system. Government's role in elections should be to make voting as easy as possible, and I believe that this bill will make and take California in that direction. I respectfully ask for your aye vote in AB 1461.
Thank you, Senator Hall. Senator Hueso, followed by Senator Stone.
Thank you, Madam President. Senators, as the Vice Chair of the California Latino Legislative Caucus, I rise in support of Assembly Bill 1461. The California New Motor Voter Act is just a common sense measure. We already have these facilities in our state. Why not make it more accessible for people to register to vote? Just under 30% of eligible citizens cast a ballot last November. That is appallingly low. We can do better. Let's make it easier for people to register to vote. While they're taking care of the business, they can do multiple tasks. Our DMV offices are a great place for them to register. Thank you. Madam Chair, I hope we can all chime in and think that this is a very common sense bill and support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hueso. Senator Stone.
You know, Madam President, one of the most precious rights that we have as American citizens is the right to vote. How many hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost in wars defending our liberties and our freedoms that allow us to serve in this democratic society that we have today? I believe that creating an automatic voter registration process that automatically registers ineligible people, and while at the same time protecting them from prosecution and fraudulent voting, would facilitate voter fraud and thus further undermine the integrity of the electoral system in this state and this country. I'm all in favor of making it easier for people to register to vote, but I'm a firm believer that if you're going to be a registrant to vote in the state of California in the United States, that you should be a lawful citizen to vote here. I am adamantly opposed and urge a no vote on AB 1461 in protecting our democracy.
Thank you, Senator Stone. Senator Leno.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, I'm supporting this bill for the very reasons the last speaker is opposing the bill. This bill will make sure that only those who can get a valid California driver's license with full benefits can register to vote, and it will happen automatically. That is a good thing. We need to do everything. Quite unfortunately, we must do everything we can to get people registered to vote and then do everything we can to get them out to vote, because the disillusionment is enormous. Faith in our system of a democracy has diminished so much because billionaires now are buying their own candidates and running them for office. Why should I even bother to go out to vote? The whole system is rigged. Unfortunately, as a result of Citizens United, that's where we are today. And we see the results of ever decreasing voter participation. So to have a system that will link voter registration to only those who can get a full driver's license means we don't have to worry about the integrity of the system, and at the same time provide an easier path to get involved with the electoral process. This is a great idea, a great bill. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Senator Anderson, I can't see your mic. Was it up? No? No. All right, it was up, but it isn't now. Okay, very good. Senator Allen?
Senators, I just wanted to rise in support of this bill as well. I held hearings down in Los Angeles and elsewhere on this question of voter turnout over the course of the year through our Elections and Constitutional Amendments Committee. We looked at the fact that California had among the lowest voter turnout in the nation. And, you know, when you actually go back and you look at the history, voter registration is simply a barrier to entry. And the fact of the matter is that any police officer could find out within 30 seconds all of the relevant information as to your voter eligibility just by a couple clicks on the keyboard. So so that's all available. Most members of the public can probably find that out pretty quickly about any individual person. It's not necessary for us to have a separate registration role as a barrier to entry. And that's one of the reasons why I support this. I think ultimately our democracy depends on the true participation of our populace. It's at the heart of who we are as a nation. And the more we can get more people to participate and feel ownership and engage, the more our system will truly be responsive to our citizens and to our public, and the more vital and vibrant our civic life and our democracy will be.
Thank you, Senator Allen. Senator Anderson, you've had a change of heart?
I did.
Senator Anderson.
Thank you. Members, you know, I have stood strong with making voting available to as many people as possible. I think that the real issue here is timing. We don't have the Secretary of State does not have the database set up yet. He doesn't have the computer program set up. I think we would be reassured if we knew that it worked and that it purged people that weren't qualified to vote or qualified to be registered. And I think that's one of the big tripping points here. I don't think there's anybody on this floor that is against voter participation. That's all how we got here. So I don't think that we're against that, but we don't know for a fact that that program is online, because it isn't, and that it's working efficiently. And I think that if we revisited this issue once we had that information, I think that you'd have a lot more aye votes. I know that I would be there with an aye. I just think that we're getting the cart before the horse. And I would hope that maybe we could hold off until the program's in place that would give us the confidence that we're not registering and allowing people to vote that shouldn't be voting because they shouldn't be registered. I urge a no vote.
Thank you, Senator Anderson. Any further debate or discussion? Senator Gaines.
Thank you, Madam President and members. I rise in opposition. I'm very concerned about the integrity of who would vote in an election process. The ACLU and Asian Americans Advancing Justice Los Angeles have written letters of opposition and are concerned that non-citizens will be automatically registered under the bill, which means that they may cast a ballot thinking that it is legal for them to vote. Therefore, I'm in opposition. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gaines. Senator Bates.
Thank you, Madam President. This bill troubles me for one specific reason. We're basing it on a notion that with more people registered, somehow we're going to increase those who actually vote. Currently, the number that is we see, we have 50% of an area registered and only 10% show up to vote. I don't know how this would make a difference. It will have more people registered, but the delta between those registered and those voting is not necessarily going to change. If people are turned off to our democratic process, I would suggest that those of us who are elected officials have a greater responsibility to ensure that people feel they're being represented. So I oppose this approach to getting more people involved in the democratic process. We certainly need some interim steps, and then by virtue of interest and excitement in participating, we will get more people out to vote.
Thank you, Senator Morell.
Yes, question, Madam President, question of the author.
Senator Lara, would you accept the question?
Yes.
Without objection.
What are the safeguards to make sure people who are not legally here would, where they wouldn't be able to vote? What are the safeguards built into that, sir?
So, members, in this bill, we are not doing a look back. We're not, this is prospective. We already know which voters qualify under AB 60, and this bill only looks at the rolls forward, because now we can separate who the AB 60 registers are with the U.S. citizens. We're not looking back. So this is a prospective bill and has removed actually opposition from a lot of the immigrant rights groups.
Any further debate or questions? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Lara, you may close.
Thank you. Just to be clear, as we talked about, this bill provides the important framework to begin the new California new motor voter program. Again, AB 61 is delayed until the VoterCal, which is a new statewide registration database, is up and running. We still, as the legislature, need to approve the necessary funds for this program, and the Secretary of State has to adopt the necessary regulations. So this bill provides what is the beginning of the new program to ensure that we create and start working on the framework. Members, again, I want to highlight the need for this bill already demonstrated in our good senator from Temecula's speech of why we need this bill. The fact is that voter registration does matter in California. In 2012, California ranked 38th in voter registration. We have more than 6.6 million eligible voters that still aren't registered to vote. This bill will get us closer to closing that gap and ensuring that we continue to promote our democratic process here in California. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Lara. Senator Allen, for what purpose, sir?
Information, Senator. To respond to the issue, the bill specifically says, and you can go right in the analysis.
Excuse Senator Allen. Senator Lara has closed, so all debate and discussion have
Okay, if you look
ceased.
at number 6 on the analysis, it responds directly to Senator Morell's question.
Senator Allen, all debate having ceased, it is time to open the rolls. We will take the roll twice, and then we will close the roll. We will not be placing matters on call until further notice. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. No. Block. Aye. Canella. No. De Leon. Fuller. No. Gaines. No. Gaggioni. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Huff. No. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monty. No. Morlock. No. Morell. No. Wynn. Nielsen. No. Pan. Aye. Pavley. I, Roth. I, Runner. Stone. No, Vidak. No, Wachowski. I, Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Please call the absent members.
De Leon. Hernandez. I, Wesso. I, Win. No, Runner. No.
Ayes 24, noes 15. The measure passes. File item 134, Senator Wolk. Excuse me, 135, Senator Wolk. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 527 by Assemblymember Dodd, an act relating to alcoholic beverages.
Senator Wolk.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, 527 is a tied house exemption. It will allow licensed alcohol manufacturers to sponsor events or purchase advertising space from a live entertainment company that has its principal place of business in the county of Napa. This, without a tied house exemption, the potential of Napa to host these events will not be fully realized. 527 has unanimous bipartisan support. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Wolk. Any debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 39, no 0. The measure passes. Colleagues, we have at least 11 more items on our file, at least 11 more, so please plan accordingly. Next is file item 136. File item 136. Senator Bell, do you wish to take up file item 136? Pass on file. File item 137. Senator Mitchell, Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 672 by Assemblymember Jones Sawyer, an act relating to inmates.
Senator Mitchell.
AB 672 requires that the Department of Corrections provide transitional services to wrongfully convicted individuals upon their release from prison. I'll repeat, colleagues, wrongfully convicted individuals. Over the last 2 decades, the number of people exonerated in this country has nearly tripled every year. After spending decades in prison for crimes they did not commit, wrongfully convicted persons are released back into the community without access to basic transitional services such as housing assistance, job training, or drug rehab. Simply put, this bill will provide access to the same services that parolees are able to receive upon release from custody. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Mitchell. Any debate or discussion? Senator Nielsen.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I want to debate in favor of the bill as well. You know, my position generally in criminal justice matters, but what does matter is justice. And this is all about justice. The measure that we had a little bit earlier to raise the restitution, if you will, for the exonerated was a part of that, but this bill is too. And the individuals, quite candidly, when they serve time in prison, it's not a place for rehabilitation. It's called that. The name of the department says Corrections and Rehabilitation. There's some wonderful people who try valiantly, and I can name a bunch of them in prison to rehabilitate. But generally speaking, they are not places where one gets rehabilitated. And so when you come out, and these would be wrongfully convicted, getting back out into the community, they deserve and need that help because they've certainly faced a great setback. I urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Nielsen. Any further debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Mitchell, would you like to close? All right. All debate having ceased. Very smart woman here. Is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 40, no 0. The measure passes.